Hey guys, it's Shazam again, and today I'll be talking about Nagato vs Pain. It's not gonna be an actual Nagato vs Pain, at least not entirely. It's gonna be basically me saying how strong each of them are in a battle and how they're different. Cause a lot of people believe that Pain and Nagato, since they're the same person basically, they're no different from one another and automatically believe Nagato is stronger, which is only true in some cases. I'll start with Pain. Pain has the same Rinnegan as Nagato and is actually controlled by him through chakra receivers. So the receivers are gone, he loses control, but that's a very unlikely case since they're all over their bodies. That means one has to strip them naked and take them out one by one or just blow them to pieces. That sounded wrong. So there are 6 of them, each having an ability of one path. Those being Chikushodo, Ningendo, Gakido, Shurado, Jigokudo, and Tendo. Pain has 2 major advantages, those being shared vision, so each of them could cover for the other's blind spot, and the fact that their abilities are shared, so if one is down from a one-shot ability or hit by another ability, the other could cover for them. Also, they have a healer, and that's the Naraka path. The distribution of the abilities could also be a disadvantage since the enemy could exploit the weakness of each ability and take them on individually, like Jiraiya did. But considering the awesome powers, I'd say that's not a bad disadvantage. As for Nagato, it's one person with all 6 paths abilities in him, so if you throw multiple techniques, he could counter them all at once using all abilities if necessary, as he has shown the ability to use more than one at once. The advantages, well, he's basically invincible, but he also has the 2 disadvantages, and those being the advantages Pain has. He doesn't have linked vision to cover his blind spots, and he doesn't distribute abilities for backup. But one of the key differences that people overlook, which I don't really blame them for since it wasn't demonstrated, is Nagato's ability to use all 5 nature transformations, which Pain cannot cause when he channels the paths, he doesn't channel his own abilities outside the Rinnegan. Now I'll use 2 examples, Pain vs Jiraiya and Pain vs Itachi. Now this is only a simplified example, nothing more. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. Just don't get salty. Now Pain vs Jiraiya, since Jiraiya has a massive jutsu arsenal, he could work his way into getting each path of Pain to use their abilities and exploit their weaknesses and take them on one by one. We all saw what Jiraiya could do. Chakra isn't a problem for him, strategizing isn't a problem for him, and using 5 techniques at the same time, definitely not a problem for him either. Now let's see Itachi versus Pain. Itachi would run out of stamina before he takes half the paths of Pain, that is assuming he could. Amaterasu could be countered by the Diva path and the Preta path, and they could cover for each other. Itachi's abilities are mostly one-shot abilities, so they wouldn't affect a large group of people, so most likely Pain would win. Now let's see Nagato vs Jiraiya. Jiraiya's reason for dominating Pain is the reason he's losing to Nagato. While Jiraiya uses Senjutsu, limiting the amount of chakra Nagato could absorb, he could still absorb a considerable amount of chakra. So Jiraiya won't be able to use all his abilities to exploit Nagato's weaknesses. While he does have a few techniques that would make it hard on Nagato, I don't believe it would make much difference. Sound Genjutsu could maybe work, but I'd rather keep that for a future video if I make one. Now let's see Itachi vs Nagato. Now I'm not saying Itachi wins, I actually believe Itachi loses badly to Nagato. But Itachi has one ability that Nagato can't counter, and we've seen it before, and that's the Totsuka Blade. Once Itachi uses the Totsuka Blade successfully, Nagato is done for. Now the odds of that happening are low since Itachi only did it because Nagato wasn't mobile. It still doesn't change the fact that it's a possibility. I originally wasn't planning on making this an actual versus battle video, but here goes nothing. This is a very difficult one to guess since they all have the same abilities. Now imagine there are 2 Nagatos, one who's prime, same power as Edo but still has full mobility, and the other one is the weakened Nagato controlling the 6 paths of Pain. And they're gonna fight. So the 6 paths of Pain versus Nagato. Looking at all I've gathered previously, I don't think Nagato's nature transformation based techniques would do anything since they would just be absorbed by the Preta path or repelled by the Diva path. I'm not sure if 2 Shinra Tenseis would be enough to cancel each other out or just increase the pressure from both sides. And I'm also not sure if Nagato used a Shinra Tensei as strong as the one that destroyed Konoha, would it have a longer cooldown? Just like how the Diva path lost his abilities after destroying Konoha. Because if that happens, he's not going to have a defensive ability against physical attacks. I'm probably not gonna count the animal summonings cause they're the same for both sides. But since Shinra Tensei has a 5-second cooldown, the Paths of Pain would be able to exploit that, but Nagato can't really exploit Pain's cooldown cause physical attacks will also be faced with different paths. But eventually, I believe Nagato would be at a disadvantage. If all the paths were surrounding him, it's not gonna be easy. Now that I've actually decided to analyze the fight as much as I could, it looks much more difficult to choose a winner. I mean, what happens if Tendo and Nagato use Chibaku Tensei at the same time? But Pain has a slight edge cause Nagato's Preda path will be useless since none of the paths of Pain have an elemental based technique. And 6 on him, including the human path who's supposed to be a close range fighter to absorb souls, is gonna make it hard for him to keep up. Now I don't have any strong opinions about this matter, but if I had to choose, I'd say the Paths of Pain will win very high difficulty. The Naraka path won't be of much use to Nagato since he's gonna have to stand still, and since it's not entirely easy to get into the mouth of the other path when he's injured, I believe, yeah, it's not gonna be of much use. So yeah, I believe Pain has a better chance of taking it, but if I missed something, make sure to let me know in the comments, please. Swag Kage did say something about this whole thing in one of his videos, and he put it in the best way I could imagine. He said Pain is strong against one person while Nagato is strong against multiple. And that's why the versatility Jiraiya has would lose him the fight. The less people there are against Pain, the less techniques are gonna be used to draw out their weaknesses, and the more people are against Nagato, the more techniques he's gonna absorb, and abilities he could use simultaneously on them, but with the Paths of Pain he can't absorb techniques. Also, I'd like it if you guys check out my friend's Sasuke vs Neji video. We were discussing it the other day and he made a video on it, and I'd like to know what you guys think. Also, it would be cool if you subscribe to him. He uploads quite often. I'll link his channel in the description. And in the end, that's only what I can see happening. If you guys have any ideas, again, feel free to say them in the comments. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.